What's up, guys? AW Aaron Warrior bring you Hawkeye episode 4 spoiler live stream review, and I hope you have seen this episode. There we go. Updated my mic. There we go, guys. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, once again, I hope you've all seen this episode of Hawkeye episode 4 spoiler just this past Wednesday. And yeah, with that, let's get this thumbnail banner out of the way so you can see my face. Here I am, guys. Here I am. So I don't know how long the stream's gonna be. You know what? I did invite some people, but like first I got this checking. Okay. Well, I didn't really invite people. If they want to come on, I don't know how long it's gonna be. Maybe not an hour this time. Who knows? And as you see there, AW Gaming in the chat. That's my gaming channel. If you want to subscribe to that, go ahead. Feel free to subscribe to that. But we're here for Hawkeye, right? Episode 4. And so I'm gonna put an invitation here if you want to join. If Max wants to join, he's allowed to join. Anybody. So, further ado, let me get my headset. In case people do join. And here we go. Alright, so as it says here, as this picture, I'm going to get this right out of the way. Florence Pugh playing Yelena Belova. Sister, well, not biological sister, but you understand my point. Sister to Natasha Romanoff. Finally revealed in episode 4 at the end of the episode. But we have to get to the end of the episode, right? What led up to this encounter with Yelena. And please, if you're new here or watching whatever, subscribe, share, subscribe, whatever, tell your friends. And let's have some fun. So and before we start, this past Thursday I did a live stream on a bunch of stuff, Marvel news, DC news, and other news that's not related to Marvel or DC. This past Thursday, pretty good stream. I thought it was a pretty good stream. I was very excited and motivated to do it, like I'm doing for this stream. And I do have some future streams in the work. If you're a wrestling fan, I will be doing a next episode of Wrestler Spotlight based on Bailey of the 4 Horsewomen. I've done 2 of the 4 Horsewomen, so I have to finish the other half. The first 2 are Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. And the rest of them I have to do this. So Bailey's next, then I'm going to do Charlotte Flair. And I might bring back It's All About Wrestling. I don't know if I'm going to bring it back Monday, but I might bring it back. And also, if you're a sports fan, I know most of the people I talk with or we're going live stream. We are not really into sports. We don't talk about sports. But if you're a sports fan, I really want to talk about the subject of MLB lockout. If you're into baseball, you know right now the MLB, Major League Baseball, is their lockout, which means potentially it may not be a season unless they get a new CBA, a collective bargaining agreement among the MLBPA and MLB. MLBPA is the Players Association, and MLB is the owners. So once they get an agreement, once they get stuff sorted out, we can have a season. But right now they're in a lockout with no contract. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm frustrated about it and how bullshitting this is. How BS, how pissed off I am about it. I don't know when that day is gonna be. I have a thumbnail ready. So I got the Bailey stuff. It's MLB, and I might bring it all about wrestling. I don't know, Monday or Tuesday. And you know what? Random live streams in the work. Like this Thursday. I mean Thursdays I want to do live streams Thursdays, and I might do some. If I feel like doing some live streams on any day, I'll do them. But Saturdays for the next 2 weeks will be a spoiler review of Hawkeye, starting right last Saturday. I did that. This Saturday, and then the next 2 episodes. So the next 2 Saturdays after this Saturday, be doing an episode spoiler review of Hawkeye. So yeah, and speaking of this segue, into episode 4. Yeah, I did a little preview. Let's get into it. Well, I'll be honest with you guys. This was not a bad episode. I liked episode 3 better. This is a good episode. There was character development. There was character development in this episode specifically between almost everybody. Clint and Kate, even a little bit of Clint with Kate's parents, but Kate's mother and soon-to-be stepfather. There was a bit of a development there with Kate. Like, was Kate starting to accept the stepfather? Okay, so we'll get to that, right? So, episode 3, we're let off. So we know that Kate snuck was hacked away into Bishop's security, found out Kazi, part of the Traction Mafia, was apparently an employee by Bishop's security. And Clint was Clint was suspicious of someone else's in the I'll say it's a penthouse, was in the apartment. And then we see a sword across his place across his where his neck is, And we find out that's Jack Duquesne, or whatever. Yeah, Jack Duquesne, I think is his name, right? Or swordsman in the comics. Which in the series, if you know the comics, he's the one that trains Roland and Clint Barton, right? To be a master swordsman. That's not gonna play in the series. That's been confirmed. That's not gonna happen in the series. But he still does have some connection to Roland, and we'll get later into that. So that's where we left off episode 3. Episode 4 starts with, we have an Avenger in the house, and then we see Kate Bishop's mother. Kate comes in, Kate Bishop's mother, and they sit down with Clint, Kate on one side of a couch, and then the other couch is Kate Bishop's mother and Jack Duquesne. We started talking about Kate and Clint. Clint's experience. They're honored to have an Avenger in their presence. And then Clint, while they were talking, Clint in the corner of his eye saw a sword that he uses as Ronin. And he needs to collect it. He's collecting. What he's trying to do is collect everything that belonged to Ronin. Right? So the costume, the watch, which we'll get to later too, and a sword. So as Clint was ready to leave, he's talking to Kate Bishop's mother. Kate Bishop's mother's like, "Don't worry, Kate will say he's trying to protect his daughter." Blah, right? They were talking, and there's something suspicious about Kate Bishop's mother there. He leaves. As he leaves, he manages to sneak away with the one in sword that Jack was able to obtain at the black market auction in the first episode, where it was quite. If you think about it, it was quite obvious when the Traction Mafia got involved in the black market auction. It was all a setup. Obviously, it was a setup. Jack Duquesne, whoever has connections, can make it look like they had no connection, but it's obviously a setup for him to get the sword or some way. So, because it looks like he was going to lose the bid he was losing, right, in the bid to his uncle. So he had to get a setup. So something it was conspiracy to set everything up. So make it look like he's a victim, or everybody else is a victim. So all that chaos and that what's going on with the Traction Mafia and Kate, he was managed to steal away and potentially kill his uncle. We don't know if it's 100%, but with the bioscopes there and the bioscopes being offered being offered to Kate in episode 3, yeah, it's a great Kate has a very good reasoning, very good reason why Jack Duquesne is murdered his uncle. Really? Link for Reese is acting up? Okay, so let me try it again. Oh, here. You know what? Here you guys. Here guys. Anybody could join. And then this is also a little bit of a bonding session between Kate, future stepfather-in-law, if they do end up getting married. There's a good chance that it may not happen. And the mother. And it feels like she's starting to be quite fond of him. It looks like it until we find out later in the episode. Once that scene ends, we see that Kate Bishop's mother was on the phone with someone. We don't know who it is. It could be Jack Duquesne, it could be Maya, it could be Kingpin. We don't know who it is, but she's on the phone. She's worried. So there's some people's theories about Kate Bishop's mother being a villain. That scene, just that scene right there, as proves that that scene gives more proof to possibly be her being the villain. Gives it more legitimacy to people believing that's the villain. Possibly being a villain. We don't know. And if you're new here, give him a 10th like, whatever. He's based on Clint's suspicions of Jack Duquesne, something with Sloan, he calls his wife. Obviously, he has to stay an extra day or whatever. They understand, the family understands, but you can tell they're so disappointed. They want to spend, of course, the kids want to spend time with their father, and he's disappointed too. But he has to do this to get, especially Kate, out of trouble. But there's actually more to this because now his whole purpose is to get the Roland stuff and get Kate out of trouble. But now it's just escalated more and it involves more personal with him, not just with not just with Kate. So, and we'll get to the end of that. But she called. So Sloan is apparently a company owned by Jack Duquesne, where Traction Mafia hangs out, or where their base of operations is. Now, in episode 3, based in a toy warehouse. After that, the police raided that warehouse. I don't know if everybody got arrested or whatever. But the police raided that warehouse after what happened with Kate, Clint, and Traction Mafia, Maya, Kazi. And we'll get to that. And they took some stuff as evidence. Stuff that, well, Kate and Clint needed for later on. Now, it's been confirmed that Sloan's owned by Jack Duquesne and has a connection to the Traction Mafia. Right? So Clint goes back to the Kate Bishop's aunt's house. Her aunt's house. I mean, or apartment. I mean, like, they're rich family, but her aunt, they can't give her aunt like a nice apartment. They have to give her she has like a regular apartment in New York City. But the Bishop family is rich, but you couldn't give, whatever. Doesn't matter. And Clint was healing himself, resting. He was tired. Kate knocks on the door. It's Kate with Lucky the Pizza Dog. And, well, before this, there was a bunch of ice, not exactly ice packs, but like juice packs, stuff like that he needed because his body is sore, especially from episode 3, from all that stuff that happened in episode 3. Of course your body would be sore, right? I mean, he's human. But yeah, so Kate comes in with Lucky the Pizza Dog, with pizza. And as well on Christmas Day, they start to bond some more. This is when Kate finally puts his pieces together. Clint is Roland. Clint admits to her that he is Roland. And you know what? She didn't scold him. She felt sympathy for him. She didn't scold him for being a murderous vigilante. Because she saw the pain in Clint's face and she figured out what happened, why he became that way. He was hurt. His family got disappeared in a blimp. I mean, like, yeah, and the stuff Natasha, he understood, and it was a bonding moment between the two. But unfortunately, at the end of the episode, you knew it was a bonding moment between the two, but you knew it was going to lead to what happens in the end of the episode. You know it was leading that way. Okay, so, but they had a plan because they know from the toy warehouse, some of the stuff that was there was raided by the police. They knew that, so they had to, and Roland had to figure some stuff. Clint had to figure some stuff out, like with the watches, where the watches, and they had to and Kate had to go to the police. Well, to the LARP, because there's some stuff from the evidence. And the police took to the evidence as evidence, right? They have to keep it as evidence. So they come with a plan. They'll meet later tonight. Couldn't give them a location. Right? So Kate goes to where the LARP is from the previous episodes. And the difference between her and Clint, it seems that she's into it. And she asked, is there a police officer here who, because there's some evidence. She mentions she's a friend of Clint. And they like Clint because he's Avenger. So it's like, yeah, you could have it, but you have to join in. Right? She does but we don't see anything like what they did with the Clint in episode 2 with the LARP stuff. And yeah, so she's able to get whatever she was needed. We also see before we get to the apartment scene. I mean, I don't know how short the stream is gonna be. Maybe I'll add some stuff. I don't know. I don't want this to be a short stream. I mean, what was my last one? Cause I felt like the episode 3 had a lot more going for it. Let me see what my last one was. This is not even 50 minutes. It's not even 25 minutes. Well, so he knew where the Sloan and he followed where Kazi is. So Kazi gets in the car and Clint's behind him. Clint takes away his gun. Kazi looks for a secret gun. Of course, a criminal will hide a secret weapon somewhere. Of course, it's smart. Clint knows that, but Clint is like trying to convince Kazi that to stop Maya Lopez on her Vendetta revenge is only going to get her killed and hurt and stuff, and that. Right, and Kazi was listening. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't think Kazi is gonna die in the series because Kazi kind of is a Clint Barton villain, Hawkeye villain. But so Clint clearly knew who Maya Lopez is, figured out why Maya Lopez has a vendetta against him, because he figured out that he killed her father, and Maya Lopez was revenge on him. I saw that in episode 3. At the beginning of episode 3, well, as we get 5 to 10 minutes in episode 3, we know that Wolin's the one that killed her father. So obviously she would have a vendetta wants revenge on Wolin. And I'll be right back. So now Kate and Clint meet up on the roof across from an apartment where the watch is. Right? Figure out where the watch is located. Now Kate and Clint have to come up with a plan how they're going to go into the apartment. This is actually pretty funny. Pretty funny between the two. On the different approaches of going into the apartment. Obviously, with this apartment, you need to buzz in, and somebody will let you up. You can't just walk in. Like that's normal. Cause no, Kate, what are you doing? Because obviously, he wants to probably like use a grappling arrow to the apartment that he needs to sneak into. But Kate's like, you know what? I'll just do it her way. And what she did was this old man with groceries. And what she did was plan to help him out with the groceries. So. She gets into the apartment, into the elevator. It was pretty awkward conversation between the two. He gets off the floor that he lives on. And then she goes up to the floor where the apartment they need to go to. He goes into the apartment. She goes into the apartment. She looks around. There's a list of names. She finds a list of names. It's Clint Barnes' family's name. Clint Barnes' family. Clint, Laura, and their kids. So she has a hit list. Who she wants targeted or killed, right? Target for, assassination for death, basically. Then she didn't know it was Maya Lopez's house. She didn't know. Then it was the wash, and then Clint all of a sudden figure out is Maya Lopez's apartment, and he's like, "Kate, get out! It's Maya Lopez's apartment." He's like, "What?" And then Maya Lopez comes out of nowhere. They start fighting, and it's like, Maya Lopez is and somebody started attacking Clint. We didn't know who it was, and Clint is like, "How come?" And Kate's like, Maya Lopez is how can you be fighting Maya Lopez? And she's like, Maya Lopez is here, right? And so Clint's fighting somebody else. And then what happens is Kate shoots the grappling hook arrow to get out of Maya Lopez's apartment, and she got stuck halfway, but she managed to get across. And then there's Clint fighting with what appears to be a masked figure. It was a woman in a mask figure attacking Clint Barton. And then Maya Lopez follows him. It became basically Kate and Clint versus Maya Lopez versus Yelena Belova. Maya Lopez and Yelena Belova, or yes who it is, were not on the same team. They were both out to get Clint. And they started fighting. It was a pretty good, solid fight. Yelena Belova managed to get the upper hand. Even Maya Lopez managed to get the upper hand. Clint couldn't figure out it was a riddle assassin. By the way, I mean, he knew the way, the style of fighting, the style of movement. It was a riddle assassin. By the way, okay, let's get back to what I was going to say. I was just checking stuff on Twitter. What happened was Maya Lopez, she kind of left there, right? They were able to get the mask off of the assassin, and it was, well, I showed you the beginning of the stream. Florence character, Yelena Belova, and he knew right away that was a riddle assassin. Now she didn't talk or anything. This is the scene where she looked at Kate Bishop, because Kate Bishop had her arrow up aiming at her. And she wasn't there for Kate Bishop. She was there for, obviously, Clint. And she just did this off the apartment building because she's a Black Widow assassin. So she knows. So she's able to get away. And obviously, episode 5, we're going to get more of the thing. But what happened was, Clint is like, I'm done. You need to go home. You need to rest up. You need to stay. Tells her to Kate. Kate wanted to be partners. Like, no, we're not partners. He was firm and blunt, stuff like that. We're not partners. I have people after me. I have Maya Lopez is after me. I have this Black Widow says I have people after me. I'm a target. And by basically putting a target on his back, he will get her into trouble. And she does manage to find trouble, but he doesn't want the responsibility of her possibly being killed because of the targets he has on his back. An assassin, a Black Widow assassin. The Tracksuit Mafia, Maya Lopez, who has a vendetta against him. Kazi, and whoever's in charge has a vendetta against Roland, and that could be Kingpin. He doesn't want her as a partner because he doesn't want the guilt to be put on him if something bad happens to her, death, permanent injury, something bad happens to her. She's young, and losing his family hurts a lot too. Watching his best friend, a sister, Black Widow, sacrifice herself, but also putting a kid in danger. She's 22 years old, so she's still young, in danger. He can't live with that. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want to be partners with that. He wants her to stay out of trouble. And that's where the episode kind of ends. With him wanting to go solo because he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want people on his, he doesn't want to put targets on other people's backs that are meant for him. Like the assassin, Maya Lopez, Jackson Muff, however. Maybe Jack Duquesne. Well, at some point. Because there seems to be a connection with him to the Traction Mafia and Bishop Security, Kingpin. So there's all connected there. Yelena Belova, that's gonna get sorted out. He's gonna, I think, she's gonna find out the truth what happened with her sister, how her sister is part responsible for bringing everybody back from the blip, for sacrificing herself, and that one scene, right? The one scene who determined an end game to determine who was going to sacrifice herself for a soul stone, because the only way to get a soul stone, you have to you have to sacrifice yourself something you love. Only thing. That happened with Gamora. Thanos loved Gamora. And he was correct. He loved Gamora. With the end game, Hawkeye was going to do it, kill himself, because he had nothing to live for. But Black Widow saw it, Hawkeye, and said, you have a family and kids. If this plan works, you will get them back. Now, Black Widow also mentioned that she had a family too. But not the same kind of family. She didn't have kids or anything. She had, well, it was a family, but not a biological family. Not like Clint. But she had a family too. But in her view, it's like, if this plan works, the people she cares about, Melina, Red Guardian, I forget his name, Anton, and Yelena will come back from the blip, because I think they definitely, it hasn't been confirmed or anything, but I'm convinced that, I don't know if all three of them, but they got blipped too in Infinity War, and she kept tabs on them. She definitely kept tabs on them during after Civil War, where the Black Widow movie took place after Civil War, and during the blip or whatever, she definitely kept tabs on them. Hello, Toby. Hello. Definitely kept tabs on that. No, that's like, look. I'm sorry if this is a shorter stream than usual. I don't like you doing short streams. But sure, like, subscribe. May also BS some stuff. Oh, you're from Brazil. Okay. But yeah, I think I like episode 3 the best, but I understand that's what this episode is. It does push the momentum forward, obviously, the shift for up to the last 2 episodes. Episode 5 is Wednesday, and episode 6 the Wednesday after. And then yeah, and then after that we got the Book of Fett. For 7 episodes, Book of Fett 7 episodes, so about to February. Sometime at the end of February. So yeah, episode 5. The rumor is Kingpin might show up in episode 5. I don't know, man. I think he'll show up in one of these last 2 episodes for sure, man. That's it. That's all I have, man. Like, last week's episode, I thought there was more to talk about, but here, not as much. It was more of a... It was a slow-paced episode. There was a lot of... It was more about a character development episode until the end, when we got Yelena Belova showing up, and why Hawkeye doesn't want to partner up with Kate. It says, over, we can't be partners because I have so many targets on my back. I can't have you get involved in my shit. But yeah, guys, that's it. That's all I have. 32-minute stream. Fuck, man. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. It was just the kind of episode. You know what? It's just the kind of episode it was. Hopefully, episode 5 would be more stuff to talk about. But yeah. Okay, so check out my Marvel episode Thursday. There's a lot more stuff to talk there. Not Marvel episode. Talk about. Launched my stream last Thursday. There's a lot more stuff there to talk about. But yeah, that's it all I have today, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, man, maybe I'll go back to playing Halo. I don't know. But yeah, guys. I'll end it here.
Too sweet! Sweet! Too sweet! Too sweet!
So yeah, so with that, like, share, subscribe, and yeah, expect some stuff this upcoming week. Okay, so yeah, with that, AWO Aaron Water is out.